Okay, welcome back. So here we are. Too bad those of you at home cannot right now be in that, but you did see it earlier. It's pretty amazing. This is an amazing spot, isn't it? The windows, the trees, pretty incredible. So we're talking in this particular program about inner peace. I brought up a lot of subjects and a lot of topics that I know can be, stressful and challenging for people, but you may be realizing about me that I'm like that. I'm just kind of like to the punch, because then we can get to work. There's work to be done, there's practices to be done if you want to do them, and if you don't, then you go, he's not really the teacher for me, because I practice, and then the people around me who are with me, they practice. And then the people who are around those people, they practice. And then they practice some more. And then they have questions about what they're practicing. And then they're learning things about what they're practicing, and then they're coming back and asking, as some of you already have in today's program as we've gone forward, asking more and more educated questions, because it was obvious to me, you already learned something that then led you to something else to be able to ask me that question about that next thing, that next level of something. And what's important for you, of course, is take it in doses. These kinds of programs, like this is a one-day program, obviously, and some of the programs that we do on the weekend, they're 2 days. And so literally you do this for one whole day, and then like the next day you're doing a whole nother round of it. And the benefit of these programs, and why I do it that way, why we do it that way, is called momentum. If you want to heal something, if you want to change something, if you want to transform something, you need momentum. Some people don't like me, it's okay, they don't like my teaching style or whatever, because I don't just teach Qigong in the park. It's okay, some people just want to do Qigong in the park. I teach Qigong in the park, but I don't just teach Qigong in the park. I educate people about what they're doing. I talk to them about it, using it in their life, how they can implement it, because that's what I did. So it would be silly for me to just try and teach it to you some other way. This is what I did. It's my life. I've integrated it into my life, and I've gained momentum by using it. And some people, some people love it. Some people don't like it because, some of the teachers from Asia, for example, they're very quiet. They just say, stand like that. You go, well, why should I stand like that? They go, you go stand like that. You'll find out. And that's it. They don't tell you anything about it. Then you come back, you ask, I have this ringing in my ear. What's that? Go practice. That's all you get. And I had the desire, fortitude, discipline, and also context to want to do that anyway. So I did that anyway. But all the while I was doing those things, as I shared with you guys all day today, I'm going around, I'm just trying to figure out the puzzle, So I'm studying psychology, I'm studying molecular cellular biology, I'm becoming an emergency medical technician, I'm studying traditional Chinese medicine, I'm thinking about going to chiropractic school, I'm thinking about going to acupuncture school, and then I started thinking about becoming a medical doctor. I'm just trying to figure out the puzzle to human suffering, life, figure it out, right? So I think I figured some things out. I'm just trying to share them, play them out. I think I discovered a lot of shortcuts. And I know the world needs them. And I know I spent a lot of time learning them. And so anyway, I try and give it to you. And like I said, arm you with information that leads you to practice. If I just arm you with information, it's almost worthless. It's not completely worthless, but it almost is. But if I arm you with information and wisdom and science, because that idea of what I'm talking about, of arming you with wisdom and science and these kinds of things, well-meaning people perhaps, or confused people perhaps, have taught us things that are not true. We've accepted a lot of them. Many of the ideas we accepted are limited ideas about ourselves, limited ideas about what we're capable of, limited ideas of how we can and can't heal ourselves, limited ideas about how we can and cannot create our reality, our personal reality, not everybody else's reality. Inner peace is not about me making everybody in the world more peaceful. It's about me practicing practices that bring me greater inner peace. Then in a moment, I may be able to share that with you, or a stranger, or somebody else. But again, all of these are built upon a foundation of years. My body is far from perfect. I'm far from perfect. But this body and the consciousness that has built it has built a framework like that brick wall that has become a certain level of master that's continuing to work on becoming a higher level master. How do I become a higher level master? I help you all become your own masters. That's how I become a greater master. And one of the ways to find out, which is why one of the reasons we offer like a certification program and so on, because if you teach other people, you find out real quick how well you know it or how well you do not know it. And not everybody wants to do that, and that's totally cool. But for me, I have wanted to do that, and I've done it for years. So that's why I'm still here with you. Can I rattle these kinds of ideas and so on off of my tongue all day long? And you can ask yourself the question, when is David going to give out? Well, come back tomorrow, as let's say on those weekend programs, I'm going to do it again. When is he going to run out? When is he going to time out? When is he going to forget what he's saying? When is he going to... That's my mastery. My mastery is to not lose my train of thought, to focus on what I'm focused on, and to stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there. And at the end of the day, I can't like determine or dictate exactly how you all receive that. But that's still my mastery, my skill, my thing, and I'm laying it down. I'm doing my thing over and over and over again, whether there's 4 people, 50 people, whatever. Same thing, over. That's my mastery. So I'm a big proponent of teaching people to teach. Teach somebody else. Somebody always knows less than you. Teach them something, because that makes you go further. Anyway. These are all built upon practices. So what you see here today is what you're going to get from me. You ever come back to another program, you'll see it's different. It's a different title. There's different techniques you learn. There's different things, different ways we're going to approach it. 100 different ways we're going to practice it, at least. The story is going to be the same. Ah, David says that all the time. Oh, David's talking about saliva again. David's talking about how consciousness has dominion over energy. He's talking about the power of the mind over the body, but then he's given us an exercise to make it happen. He's talking about how emotions are the biggest challenge that human beings have, and that some of us are literally crippled by them. The emotions of guilt and shame and fear and so on. And he's got tools, breath work, practices to stand up, face these, breathe through them, change them in my life, change them in somebody else's life. And I'm still here. I'm still showing up. I'm still doing it. I'm showing up to my practice, showing up to my life. Anyway, so that's what you see is what you get. So, but we build the philosophy and the science and the theories. They have to have practices. Otherwise, we're just sitting around talking science, and that's cool, but it isn't going to get you very far. But at the same time, if I only teach you Qigong in the park, I promise you, you're probably gone tomorrow. That's okay. You might still be gone tomorrow, but you're walking with a brain full of like stuff that you heard here this weekend. So what you do with it, that's up to you. But that's just my job. That's my thing. That's my thing. Watch me on YouTube. Watch me anywhere. Watch me teach any program, anywhere, anytime, no matter how tired I am, whatever's going on. This is who you get. This is what I'm going to be, you know. And in some programs, if you know me a little more, I will be quiet for longer periods of time, because I can also be very meditative. I can be very quiet. I've shown you that in brief intervals, very purposefully, going from talking very quickly to all of a sudden, where did he go? He looks very peaceful. What is he doing? Is he going to come back? I can do that too. That's part of my teaching to you. I want to teach you. You should, for your own sake, be able to do that, because that's how you can handle, things that are going on in your world. All right. So I promised you I would share a couple of things with you here before we go and just give you a short walk. If you want to read more about this, know about more of this, you can find it in my book. I can't sell you any books or anything here today. This is like a free program and stuff. So you can get the ebook, you can go online and get it on Lulu or whatever. Anyway, but I'm going to teach you some things from it. The book has some physical techniques, but nowhere near as much as our weekend courses, our certification program, so on. The book is much more mental. It's much more about attitude. Again, my Qigong, nobody else's Qigong. Yes, there's some things that I learned from other masters, but again, I have a psychology background. I'm a mind over matter person. It's not just positive thinking. It's about how do I change it in my body? How do I bring it about? And as I started the program, how do I bring about this tipping point that I am looking for? I'm looking to lose this amount of weight. I'm looking to heal my back. Like we had a guy in our certification program, never even met him. He's here in town, actually. I won't name him or anything, but I know he's here in town. He's one of our certification students. He lost 45 pounds getting his level 1. I never even met him. He did it all online and healed his lower back. Just from watching videos, doing the instructionals, sending Tanya information about what he was doing and how he was doing it, so on and so forth. Anyway, those are the kinds of things that I get inspired and motivated about, that we have ways to bring about a tipping point. You're looking to heal something. What can we do to bring that about, to bring that healing into your life? So one of my favorite methods, and this is something that I do, I told you guys at the beginning of the program, I coach people. You can think of that in terms of like a life coach, but I'm a very alternative life coach in that I'm metaphysical. I'm talk about consciousness, awareness, chi, anyway. And there's a lot of that flavor in the book. Let me give you the short version of how it works and give you a little experience if you want to go play with it, okay? Works like this. There are times, this is the way I would say it. We have a course called Peaceful Warrior, told you that out there. It exemplifies who I am, who I feel like I am. I'm more peaceful than I am a warrior, but in this world, it is important, in my opinion, to have boundaries. I have a daughter to take care of. I'm not going to just let somebody come do or say something. Not even just do, even say anything to my daughter that I don't want in her consciousness. And if they do, it's going to be erased very quickly because she already knows they have no permission to have any power over her. That's an example of thinking that she's been learning since she was like 3 years old. No one has permission to give you their opinion in a way that it influences you in any way that does not work for you. Those kinds of ideas. That is having a martial attitude. That is having boundaries. That is having a cutting edge like a sword, that sometimes no is not enough. It's a hell no. Hell no. That is not going to happen. Or, you ain't coming through here. You ain't coming through here. When I learned to master that, even without the hands, I'm walking. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. We're coming back from Tampa. Some guy comes out of the pitch black. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. The girls are getting in the car on the other side of the car. I come walking around the corner. He's right here where the camera is. Boom. Right there. I'm walking. He sees right away. Predator. I just went from nice guy to predator in a second. He saw predator. He's, oh. I'm not going to mug you, is the first thing he said. I said, I know you're not. You don't come out here at 1 o'clock in the morning, come out of the dark and come toward my family, 1 o'clock in the morning, in a dark, in a rest area, in the middle of nowhere, South Carolina, North Carolina, wherever it was. Anyway, I am a teacher of being able to have that edge, back it off. Have that edge, back it off. Go to meditation, be peaceful. But I'm not going to sit here and be peaceful if you're punching me. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to ask you to back up. I'm going to ask you to rethink what you got going on. I'm going to ask you if you had a bad day. But I tell you what, that ain't going down right here. It ain't going down here. That's, to me, peaceful warrior. Boundaries, managing your mind, your thoughts. Okay, so how can we use this in healing? So for me, It's likened unto you're running up the mountain and you have nothing left in your body and your body's collapsing, but your mind goes, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. It's like that. But in a Qigong way on a walk. How many times are you guys walking? I've seen some of you guys walking around, your hips bothering you, and you got different things going on in your body. When those things come to call on you, I look at it as like a test. Your mind, or your body, however you want to say that, is testing you. What are you going to do with this information? So when I broke that hand, I told you earlier, the brief part of the story, I didn't have any confidence that I could heal that hand. You know, before I broke the hand, I had a lot of confidence. I'm confident. I had so much confidence, I thought I could break through that thing I was trying to break through, but I did not. Anyway. And anyway, so in that moment, it's not about the confidence, and yet it is, because the moment your mind steps up and says, I'm going to do it anyway, things change, including in your biology. So let me give you one sample, and you guys can walk it if you'd like. This is one of the easy ones that I usually give when I have like a group and stuff and we're walking around. So when my body is falling apart, which happens because not only did all the stuff with, getting run over, I healed my spine, yada, yada. But guys, gals, I've been trained in martial arts ever since. I'm with like a new teacher now. It lasts 4 years. He crushes me every time I go in there. He's a world champion. The guy destroys me. Bodies this way, bodies that way. I'm like, yeah. It was kind of cute though. I was out here and some people were taking pictures, started to tell Taylor that. And this mom walks by and the people at the desk were like, oh, you can't come in here, it's a private event or whatever. And I said, oh, it's fine, we're at lunch. Let them come through. And so they kind of walk through and the mom says, do you teach jiu-jitsu? I said, yes. And she goes, you're right. And then this little boy goes, you were my jiu-jitsu teacher. And so anyway, he came to a couple classes, so it was pretty cute. I saw him on the back porch there. I got to shake his hand. I said, when are you coming back to class? Anyway, so my point is, and I'm also getting older, so I have pain in my body. I know what it's like to still have pain. I know what it was like to overcome a spinal disease. So check it out. Here's my attitude. You have to keep your head up. You have, physically, you have to keep your head up. Sometimes Tanya tells me, on the camera when you're filming in your office or something, people can see up your nose. Like, you need to bring your nose down. I go, it's attitude, honey. She goes, that's great, but people still, could you just please bring it? You have to keep your nose above the water. You have to keep your head up. When you're feeling down, when you're feeling guilty, when you're feeling depressed, when you're feeling shamed, when you're feeling not good enough, when you're feeling like a failure, whatever you're feeling. And some people, again, they don't ever feel these things. I told you how many black belts and everything that I've been through. Now I'm trying to get another black belt in jiu-jitsu. If I was afraid of failure, I would not go to that class. I can tell you that. That teacher kicks my butt every time I go in there. Every time I go in there, I fail. And then I go home and I feel the emotions of failure. When you work on a bunch of clients during the day, you coach other people, everything, you're on fire, at least I am. When I get done, oh man, I'm exhausted. I'm like laying there and putting my legs up on the wall. I'm wiped out. When I get up the next day and I get out of bed, I'm like, I don't feel like a Qigong master. I feel broken. And Bella knows this story probably better than anybody in that way. She sees me a lot in that regard. She sees me, I'm down there on the floor, I'm like rolling on some ball, trying to fix my hip or something. And then she knows that if that was other people, we're not going trampolining today. I pop up off the floor, I go, let's go. She goes, really? You're okay? You're gonna, okay, all right. She knows. I'm going to, I was teaching jiu-jitsu yesterday, 6:30 in the morning. And then yesterday afternoon at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, as my prep to come here, I'm jumping and trampolining with her at the tramp park. My point is, I'm not saying you have to do this, but I'm trying to teach you a principle and a concept. I regularly push myself to failure. Why? Because I have a pretty good idea that there's a good chance that with my work and with my practices, I can recover. So you'll push yourself if you know you have the ability to recover. It's that simple. If you have practices to recover, you're not going to be afraid to fail, and then you can grow. All right, so here's the practice. 1, you have to keep your head up. When you're tired and it's like, oh, you're like, this is how I want to walk, you know? Oh my goodness. So I have to force myself to get straight, chin at least parallel with the floor. I have to purposefully walk upright, and it's walking with attitude. You're not doing this for anybody else. It's just you, your own body. You're walking and you have that attitude. And then one of the mantras that I use, remember a mantra, it doesn't have secret power in and of itself. This is my take. The power that it has is that whatever you keep playing here, I told you, it's going to show up in your body. So one of the ones that I've used for years, many years now, and I always gesture with my body. So like if I feel pain in my hands, I gesture with my hands. If I feel pain in my chest, I open up my chest. If I feel pain in my back, I open up my back. I stretch, I move, I might use my hands. But I walk and I say to myself, my mind and my body are strong. My mind is strong. My body is strong. When I had the broken hand, that's what I did. My mind is strong. My body is strong. Meanwhile, my emotions inside were like, you're a loser. You broke your hand. In Home Depot, we'll tell that story later, but it's true, I did. Anyway, this is an early morning. I'm like, you sure, dude? I'm like, I don't think that's the wood we break, man. I'm like, that thing, like, I'm like hitting it. I'm like, it's like concrete. I'm like, I don't know. I've been hitting rocks lately. I'm like, I think I can handle it. Bam! Broken hand all the way up to my wrist. Anyway. So walking around, my mind is strong. Always, always, always start with my mind is strong. Then follow with my body is strong. Don't expect your emotions to believe you. Talk about all this in my book. It's just a brief little thing. But don't expect your emotions to believe you. If I've got a broken hand, my emotions are saying, you have a broken hand, loser. Okay? That's what my emotions are. I feel horrible, right? But if I say, my mind is strong, my body is strong, that is a thought. That is not positive thinking. It is a thought. I won't stand on their chairs. They may be offended, but I usually stand on chairs in the hotel room. Anyway, stand up, get higher than your problem, and talk down on it. But listen carefully. I know we only have a little bit of time to talk about it, but there's zero wrestling match. It's not tit for tat. The mind goes, you're a loser. You go, my mind is strong, my body is strong. It goes, no, you're a failure. My mind is strong, my body is strong. You're a loser. And then you go, okay, fine, I'm a loser. Okay, fine. That's what the mind does. Here's the thing. You keep saying it like you desire it to be until it flips. Until the switch flips, you keep saying it. And you don't just... I've had people come to programs, we've done it plenty of times. People come and they go, my mind is strong, my body is strong, my mind is strong, my body is strong. And I go, oh, time out, time out. First of all, upright, good. Now, not a mumble, not a, my mind is strong, my body is strong, my mind is strong, my body is strong. No. My mind is strong. My body is strong. My mind, this is what I do, marching. So when you're marching, you're walking, you're in a march. My mind is strong, my body is strong. You start saying that with that kind of rhythm, watch what that starts doing to your consciousness. Watch what that starts doing to your body. The other day, what was it? My foot. So I hurt my foot in jiu-jitsu the other night. Somebody kicked my foot, and it felt very bruised, and I couldn't barely put my weight on it. And so the next day, I was very concerned that I might not be able to stand and coming up to this program. I was like, that's going to be interesting, right? But I told myself, there's nothing going on here. My mind's strong, my body's strong, completely capable of recovering. I kept that attitude. Every time I walked up and down the stairs, nothing's going on there. My mind's strong, my body's strong. It's no problem. Woke up the next day, went trampolining with her. Okay, so anyway, it takes practice. Just like anything I'm teaching you. It's not going to happen, boom, just like that. But you have to start it somewhere. So, as a little finishing practice, take just a little walk, 2, 3, 4 minutes, whatever. And when you're walking, do it your way. Be artistic about it. But my mind is strong. My body is strong. My mind is strong. My body is strong. You have an area that's bothering you. My mind, my arm, and my elbow are strong. And you make it strong because this, if you went to physical therapy, right? What do they have you do at physical therapy? You hurt your arm. They have you go like this. And most physical therapy, no offense, unless you have a really good physical therapist, it's a joke. Move your hand like this, move your hand like, I could have done that at home. Like what? That's not even Qigong. Like what is that? Like this, like you just charged me how much money for that? So when you start moving all of these different things and you start saying, my mind is strong, my body, they say, squeeze this, they go to physical therapy, they say, squeeze this ball, okay, all right, $150 to the insurance company and $5 to you or $20 to you, whatever. But it's like, really? I could have squeezed a tennis ball at home, right? But take it further, and now we're getting somewhere. If the person went to physical therapy and the physical therapist was like, move like this, breathe like this, say that I'm strong, my body's strong, feel it in your body, keep your chin up, and march for me, march, march, march. Good job. Good job. Do you feel better? You look better. Now we're getting somewhere because the mind, the body, everything is part of it, right? So have a nice little walk to the trees if you desire. That's the one I'll give you. My mind is strong, my body's strong. You can try it if you want, or just go for a little walk, come back, we'll meet up, say goodbye, and be moving on. So yeah, if you read the book and you get to, this is just like a heads up or whatever for those of you who are choosing to do that. 1 through 5, chapters 1 through 5, super easy, super straightforward, and just kind of like background really. One of the things that I say that I lead in with is this idea that Qigong traditionally means the skilled cultivation of universal life force or energy, right? So one of the things that I talk about is that everything, this is something that a teacher shared with me 20 plus years ago, every single thing that you do either adds to your energy or takes away from it. Everything. And so like he would say, start making lists. You know, energy, the way I interpreted it anyway was energy in, energy out. And like I'd have a list. Sometimes it seems like if I go for a walk right now, I'm going to have no energy. But the truth is, you know, if you go for that walk, you're going to actually have more energy. So the truth is that should be going on energy in rather than energy out. Because the amount of energy that it's going to take you to go for that walk, you're going to get back 5-fold if you went for the walk, right? If you didn't go for the walk and you sat on the couch, that's a straight up energy out. Unless you already went for the walk and now you need to sit on the couch. Now it's energy in because you're resting. Okay. But bigger than that idea of that, going even beyond that, is this idea again that every single thing you do brings energy or it takes energy away from you. Qigong is the same. You go practice Qigong, you're going to get some energy. If I go lift weights tonight, I'm going to have less energy. Give me a couple days, I'm going to have more energy and more strength. Anyway, when you understand that concept and you start playing it out in your life in these different ways, these things add up. So that's the kind of stuff that I talk about in my book, is that Again, coming back to the chapters, 1 through 5, I started to say, pretty smooth, pretty easy. Here's the background. Everything you do adds to your energy or takes away from your energy. Chapter 6 is where you're going to get hung up. Anybody that's reading the book is going to get hung up on chapter 6. Unless they're really ready for chapter 6, then they're going to eat chapter 6 up. Chapter 6 is all about that stuff I told you, the emotional voice in your head. It's not just a voice, it's an emotional voice. It's your fear, it's your worries, it's your concerns, it's the collective consciousness, it's the ego, it's all of that. And that's what you have to shift, but it's not just shifting the voice. This is my teaching to the world, the way like I said, what I feel passionate about most in terms of how to do it, because it's what I've found that works, is that dealing with the voice versus the voice alone is very, very difficult. It can be done over many years of ongoingly repeating positive thoughts to yourself and going to coaching seminars and like never stop and keep going. You can eventually beat out the information. Okay? From the time you're 7 years old, prior to 7, everything's osmosis. It just comes to you. After 7 years old, it's whatever you repeat to yourself. You can change the patterns in your head by repeating certain things over and over and over and proving it to yourself over a period of time, but it may take forever and you may not get there. One thing that I think is a shortcut of in between is every time you have those conversations with yourself, every time you say my mind is strong, my body is strong, and you're hurting, it is your emotions that you're challenged by. It's not just the thoughts, it's the emotional feeling. You wouldn't believe the thoughts if it wasn't for the feeling. Imagine a horror movie. It may be scary to you when the volumes are up and you're very emotional because everything's happening. Well, now take away the sound. It's a lot easier to get through. You're like, oh, please, that doesn't even look real. But the moment they play that creepy music, whatever the creepy music is, you're like, oh man, she's gonna die, right? Like, because of the emotion. So what we have to get through in our lives is the emotion. It's at the heart of it. That's what I call the wall. When I said earlier, it's the wall. So we have to breathe through it. We have to choose postures to get through it. Stand tall, stand in meditation, change the emotional content, which is also energetic, which is what Qi is. Bam, when it does that, and Tony Robbins and some of the other coaches, they use these, the phrase of changing state. You're changing from one state to another state. That's what it is. And it's like flipping a switch. If you have the techniques and the tools to flip the switch, then you have what you need to make it happen. But like I said, this is all on the level that it is the entirety of my philosophy in a nutshell, in one day. David, you got one day. Spell out your philosophy. Here it is. David, you got one day. Spell out your science. Here it is. But please, David, give us some practices to actually bring it about. Those are the people that I'm looking for, because those are the people that are actually going to take that philosophy and they're going to do something with it. Testimonials in the book, testimonials on the website, testimonials from teachers that are teachers with us, to people who became teachers. I mean, there's a woman in the book, trained here in Wilmington. She was on 12 different medications. She, you know her, 12 medications. We won't name her, but you know her. 12 different medications, 3 times, breast cancer, military, left, was dismissed from the military because of the breast cancer, met her, she was on the verge of cardiac arrest, heart failure, congestive heart failure, I think they called it. And she couldn't run, she couldn't run 2 blocks. And she started doing Qigong. Pretty soon she started doing martial art with me. Pretty soon she started coming to all the seminars. Next thing you know, she's off of 12 medications, including 2 IV drugs, chemotherapy drugs that they said she'd be on for the rest of her life. She has now moved to Raleigh and living at the moment happily ever after, training martial arts again, which she used to do and everything, and she's got her life back. She's one of those success stories. And she subjected herself, if you will, to all 5 levels of the program. She dove in. In fact, she did all 5 levels of the program, I think, faster than anybody we've had do it. She did it in like 2 years, and she did all 5 levels. And she went to like all the live seminars, and literally in 2 years, that's what she brought about in her life. Anyway, the list goes on of what other people have done. I don't want to be the only one that's like, oh yeah, I healed my spine. You know, the story at some point is old. You know, I want to hear your guys' stories. What did you do? What did you use it for? How did you help somebody? How did you, how did it help you get through something? That's what it's all about, So, I thank you for coming out here today and helping that, helping me make that happen, because, I'll say this in closing is that one thing I've found myself saying for the last probably 3 years, I crack myself up every time I say it, which is why I guess I say it, but I look around and I always say to my audiences, and I say this to you guys today, thank you for going through with it. Because I have these ideas, I know what I did with it, so on, but you all just being here and allowing me to take you through the paces of it. Whatever pace you want to go, but to taste a little bit of it, to try it on for size, to see if it works for you, whatever. We have people, I tell people, for years, this has been the story. I have salt and pepper in my kitchen, and I'm trying to feed 1 million people. And this is how it's been for years. And yet somehow that salt and pepper keeps coming together to bring things like this, and it's oftentimes just like this. 50 people sign up and this many people come. This many people, that many people, this many people, that. But the ones that come, you all are the ones that are helping me go through the snow. I'm gonna chart up that territory. I'm gonna walk through that snow. I'm gonna try this on for size. Because if you are even willing to try it and taste it and partake of it, then somebody over there doesn't think it's so dumb. When you tell them you healed this, you changed that, it's like, even some of you go home, you'll talk to somebody over the next couple days, you'll be like, I did this Qigong seminar, it's pretty cool, it was interesting, And then somebody over there tells somebody over there, and the next thing you know, they're training with me in Florida. I'm teaching some seminar in Florida, and they're like, yeah, I heard about you from somebody in Colorado, I live in New Jersey, and I'm down here in Florida training with you. And that just blows my mind, like on the level that it does. It blows my mind. It's something maybe I shared, they shared, and then they shared, and then there's that person, I'm training them. So anyway, I thank you all for going through with it. You made it here, pat yourselves on the back. Over the next couple of days, take care of yourself. This is a process. Mark your calendar. It's going to take about 2 weeks to recover from this weekend. I don't mean like you don't have to be worried about it, but I mean look for positive things starting to happen. Drink some water, get some rest, think about the things we talked about, let it sink in. If you're interested in the book, start reading some of it. Practice your waterfall. One technique. One. You don't have to do all 10, 9, okay, whatever, okay? Well, there's 9. I showed them a few others though, so. All right, gang, so thank you so much. Yeah. Have a great one.